And hello and good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm David Bowles, and this is Bowles.tv, BOLES.television. And my sun salutation of the day is now going away as I do this and this. I've not investigated this echo I have in my ears, and I think I'm going to have to go back into the Elgato Reddit support team and say, is there anybody here? Is there anybody who can help me? Because my message has gone undeleted and undetermined. Wow, what a busy morning. This is the sort of day that you live for. Where Gordon is sending you things and things and things, and Alexander in Ukraine is uploading videos, and Mr. Wick is deleting things, not just deleting things on our Discord server, but purging things from our Discord server. And I have it set up that way. So is it Mr. Wick or is it me? One little infraction. 100 messages erased by Mr. Wick. Oh boy. Where do we begin? To tell the story of a love that's gone away. Well, our captions are working, which makes me endlessly happy. I don't even have to do anything. I just turn it on, say go, and it goes. Because before I had to turn on the microphone, I had to do a little testing, 1, 2, 3. No. See if it's captioning, turn on the captions, turn off the captions, test the captions. Are the captions working? I don't know why they don't work on Apple TV, though. That was the first thing I was asked by the beloved monster, Jana Marie Sweetheart. Because she wanted to watch the show yesterday, and she said, well, put it on. I said, put it on where? She said, well, put it on the TV. I said, well, the captions don't work on the TV. I don't know why. I don't know how to turn them on. They should just be there. But they're not. So I guess I should add that to my list of things that I have to try to figure out. So speaking of Gordon, a few things to have a conversation about. Our friend Alexander was going to join us today, but he seems to be very busy. And as you're going to see, he's very busy on the front lines, sort of, on a 24-hour post. Now, another thing that I've noticed before we get to Gordon is we have these bots that watch us all day long. And some of these are recording bots. Some of these are calculating bots, survey bots. I don't know, but they're bots. And the strange thing is they join the stream and never say anything because they're observing, I guess. And they go on and on and on. Yeah, okay. And then the show's over, and they just sit there. 2-3 hours later, you refresh your chat, because you can chat when the show's over. You can go into chat for the channel, test things and type things, and you can have fun all by yourself, just talking to yourself with these exclamation point commands. And this morning, as I'm firing up the show with all these great things going on, I have noticed that all the weird bots that just sit there for days and days are gone. I have a feeling that purged is the more appropriate term. And I don't know why, and I don't know where they've gone, but somehow, somewhere, I believe it has to be Twitch, has wiped them out. Now, is this temporary? Will they come back? Do they do that, once a month? Just go into every channel and wipe out, remove, sweep away the inactive bots? I don't know. But it's something that I'm interested in trying to find out about. Now, speaking of interesting, a week or two ago, Gordon said, hey, If you're looking for a vegan shave cream, there's a vegan shave cream at Trader Joe, and it has honey in it, but it doesn't have honey in it. It has honey in the title. So we're finally able to find this after searching. They haven't had it for a long time, and now they have it. Trader Joe Shave, Moisturizing Cream Shave, Honey Mango. Now, I was slightly concerned because when we got this home, there was no thing protecting it. You open it up, there was no foil thing. And you pull it out of the bag and it just smells like delicious mango. And I think coconut. And I used this today for the first time. As you can see, I'm beautifully shaven. Now, what's great about this is it's not foamy like Barbasol. It's not gel-like Gillette that becomes foamy. This is just a thin coating of stuff that you use very little of it. You just put it on your face, and it makes like a very thin oil slick layer that you just shave. Close, clean, comfortable, fabulous. Thank you, Commissioner Gordon. Now, at the very last second, the commissioner sent me something that he had been promising me for most of yesterday, and I was expecting it, but then it didn't show up. And then it showed up right before I was going on the air, and I have to get it all ready, and I'm late. So here is the email. I have to read it from a different place because I didn't have time to move it over. Title, Ariana Grande artwork. Now, the interesting thing about Ariana Grande is that is not her actual name. Her brother, Frankie Grande, was on Big Brother many years ago, and he had a big secret to tell. And his secret to tell the house guests was his sister was Ariana Grande. And nobody knew who that was, including me and a lot of the viewers. Who? This is right as she was starting out. It was very funny. He was so disappointed because he thought he had this special thing going on. And he says he's this social media advisor. He does all these things for her. But he revealed on the show that he actually got the name, their last name, inspirationally from Starbucks. Because he said all of their lives growing up, their last name was pronounced Grande. And Frankie did not like that name. I'm Frankie Grande. So he decided, as Ariana started, exploding, that they would change the pronunciation of their last name to Grande. I guess it's better than Venti, but Grande as in Starbucks. And he said, and now we pronounce it, Ariana Grande. I'm Frankie Grande. So, is that silly? Is that stupid, dumb? Is it right? Yeah, it's good marketing. So Gordon says, hey. Here, as promised, is the artwork I made yesterday in honor of Ariana Grande. Materials, a cutout piece of a U-Haul box. It was a large box. Maybe even a Starbucks box. It was a large box, so Grande is printed on it. And then I used colored pencil to write the message and then tempera paint to fill it in. Perhaps my next NFT. And here is the artwork. I didn't have a chance to resize it so it would fit perfectly, but you can see it. I love Ariana Grande. Now, this was not created by his young daughter, Malka. This was created by an adult, a father. Made with love and expectation. Now, I do love the repainting of the A in Grande. I find it very funny. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image and go on Reddit and post in the font subreddit. I found this piece of artwork, soon to be an NFT. And while I realize this is not a font, if I were to recreate this artwork into my own sort of font, what font would this be? And I know the answer, the font of a madman. Everything is intentional, Gordon says. All intentional. Now, what I'm going to do is do something that I do with every image that ever gets sent to me. I'm starting up Photoshop because I can't help myself, and this is just what I do all day. So I'm going to take this image submitted by the font commissioner, not fart commissioner, although he wants to be. It's a higher pay and better status, but right now, he's just the commissioner of fonts. Not farts, fonts. And then I'm going to manipulate this piece of artwork into what Photoshop believes is the appropriate color, tone, and psychology. And I've permanently changed that to this. Now I have an original copy, so I can go back to the original copy, but this is what Photoshop believes this should look like in real life. Love it or leave it. Machines can do the work. Sometimes they do the work well, sometimes they do not. But this is fun. And Gordon wonders if this should be his next NFT. I vote yes. I think everything should be an NFT, including this entire show. And we're not done with the commissioner. Hey, from yesterday. Professor Commissioner Gordon, King of Fonts, very kindly went in and said, hey, anybody know what this is? Font-wise, not fart-wise, font-wise. And of course, because it's Reddit, he got the know-it-all snotty kids responding to him saying, meow, that's not a font. Meow, not a font, meow. I mean, it's these kind of people you just want to just... Those are unhappy people who just want to give good, kind-hearted parents in Florida a hard time because they're bored and they have nothing else to do. This person knows exactly what Gordon is asking. So we said, hey, rephrase it so if I wanted to recreate this myself, what font would I use? And Gordon did. Copperplate Gothic is fairly close. Just make sure the width is 85% and kerning meow meow. So this is what you expect from Reddit. This is why you go to Reddit, because people are very wonky, very nerdy. But if you want a straight answer where people are always kind to you on any topic, go into the lounge. Now, I think you have to pay to be in the lounge, but that's where all really, not just the cool kids are, but the nice cool kids. They don't give you a hard time. Tracking, not kerning, you right, dog, so there's fighting, correcting. It becomes a little overwhelming for me to read some of this. You can also try Din Medium, may work for the Dewey. You could extrapolate of the engraving. And I know you can take pictures of the engraving and then make it into a font, but that's not what we're trying to find out. We're trying to find out, this looks like an existing font. What is the font we want to use? That's all Gordon's asking. And they're biting at him at all the corners of that being that is Mr. Gordon. And I feel for him. Imagine the typewriter you need to type into stone. See, they're giving Gordon a hard time because font is not a font that's chiseled, it's carved. I've researched this. Typefaces used on gravestones do not usually have an exact digital match. They were often just hand-drawn and carved. Carved is not the right word. It's chiseled. You want to be specific about it. I'm getting exhausted reading this, but Gordon's there fighting the good fight. Check out Space Around Corner Gothic for the word Dewey. I mean, now people are being helpful. This is what you want, is people giving you links, being nice to Gordon, which I know is hard. Just kidding. That's close. That looks pretty good. Space Right Round Corner Gothic. $60 to buy the font. I like it. Very clean. Yeah, fonts are wonderful. I love fonts. I have a lot of fun with my fonts. Here is another link you might find useful. 1900s History of Monument Lettering. Now, this is a nice person. Jerome in a house. Love the avatar. Being extremely helpful and not pedantic, even though that's what Reddit is. And then the one who said, "It's not a font," says, "Oh, thank you so much for posting the information that I could have done myself, but I had to give Gordon a hard time." I don't know if you can hear it, but the hot water's ready. A little song is playing. A little song, a little dance, a little seltzer down your pants. So I do love this font. Very delicious looking. Dewy. I think it's just great. So that's our wonderful Gordon story for the day. Lots of good information. Everything should be an NFT. I love using found objects for art. I think it's terrific. Now, before we take our break, just very briefly, StewMac. If you have anything to do with guitars, you know, or you may not know, that StewMac is the place to go. Oh, Dad Gordon said, "Do we?" I think we do. Very good. In the old-time South, where people were poor and had no money, they would make guitars out of cigar boxes. It was a neat thing. Some of them have survived, and they sound great, they play great. People have even taken the step to electrify them, because they used to just be a piece of wood in a cigar box with a string or two, and you would just, strum, play rhythm. And StewMac this morning sent me this email saying, "Hey, you can now create your own cigar guitar box with our kit." And StewMac has tools, kits, all kinds of fabulous things if you're a guitar player. 3 strings, right? Electrified. I just love it. I think it's so fantastic. And this is not cooperating. There we go, playing the guitar, right? Terrific. It's in the kit. Here we go. Now I think we have it. Oh, it's not working right. Anyway, it's terrific. You can make your own cigar box guitar for $129. Now, a lot of these guitars you see for sale are $2,000-$3,000 that are made by, Fender and Gibson. But this is something, a kit, that you can put together yourself, go back to the very beginning of the blues in the Deep South, and you can build a guitar for $130. Oh, I think it's so much fun. Now, I don't imagine they're going to sell a lot of these, but for those who are doing an internet search on build your own cigar box guitar, I think StewMac now has that part of the world quite cornered. And there's the kit. Everything you need is in there. Oh, it looks like so much fun. It's just beautiful. And now when we come back, we're going to talk about Mr. Wick. We're going to talk about the MooBot. We're going to talk about if this, then that. We're going to talk about Twitter. And this all has to do with our friend Alexander, our brother Karamazov, reporting to us from Ukraine, including brand new videos that were uploaded 45 minutes ago. We shall return in a moment. And we are back from break here on Bowls TV, BOLES.television, BOLES.TV. And I just heard a sound. It sounds like there's a cat fight going on somewhere, but there are no cats on this floor. That was a weird sound. I don't know what it was. We have a little dog who barks in the hallway, but that was not a dog barking. Maybe it was outside. I may have to investigate, but right now it seems like it was a one-time event. So as you know, if you're a loyal watcher of this live stream, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., we have a Discord server that is a lot of interesting fun at all times. And there are lots of bots on that server. One of them used to be Me6, which you've gotten rid of because it's feeling like a rug pull. But Mr. Wick is our main bot who patrols 24/7 because there are a lot of really nasty, mean people on Discord who want to go onto your server and post stuff. So you have to have some kind of protection from that sort of abuse. And I have a lot of other bots that were there before and after Mr. Wick, and Mr. Wick doesn't like any of them. So you have to give them permission. You have to tell Mr. Wick it's fine. They can post here and post there. You don't have to think that they're a spammer. And usually, if you whitelist them, it works. And one of my bots that posts things on my behalf is if this, then that. So if this, then that bot watches my social media, and if I like something or I post something, if this, then that will post those messages into a certain area of our Discord server. So it's all in one place. You can just go and read the Discord server and not have to be on the social media, because we're a lot of different places saying a lot of different things. And one of the things that the if this, then that bot does is whenever I like a tweet, it sends that tweet to the server. So people can say, hey, the old boy liked this one. And usually it works well. Now, one thing I have learned the hard way is that we have set up Mr. Wick to be very vigilant. So any kind of bad word, potty mouthing, as the kids say today, gets blacklisted and immediately purged. So this morning, I went into our Discord server just to look around, see what happened overnight. And this is what the admin area of Mr. Wick looks like. Panic mode, abnormal behavior has been detected. And this is actually when I was deleting Me6 from our server. I was deleting this channel, deleting that access. Panic mode, someone's deleting things. And when Mr. Wick goes into panic mode, everything gets locked down. You can't change anything, you can't move anything. It's just put into stasis, which is good. That's what you want to have. If something weird is going on, you want Mr. Wick to leap forward and say, okay, we're not doing anything until I figure out what's going on. And then the panic mode ends, and everything's fine. Green light. Then I see this. Where I was doing a test a couple of days ago with MooBot, which is our new bot for this live stream. And in the live stream, it's known as BowlsBot. But when it does these things on our Discord server, it reverts back to MooBot. So when you're setting up MooBot, to see if it works with your Discord server or Mr. Wick, are going to come after it and cut it off, you send a test message. And test messages were sent, as you can see right here. These are the test messages that MooBot was trying to send to our server. And Mr. Wick did not like it. MooBot has been timed out for 2 minutes. Embed, spam, no message content, highly likely, an image, embed. Well, the MooBot was just trying to say this is a test message to see if this posts in. So I went in there, whitelisted MooBot, gave MooBot appropriate roles, redid the test. I think the problem was because when we did this test, it was under MooBot bot. And then I got the Bowls bot working on MooBot, redid the test, and I guess because it was coming slightly from a different angle from Bowls bot than MooBot, then Mr. Wick went crazy. So I just reestablished all the roles, and now it seems to be working. Then today, I wake up, right? Check the logs. I see this. I've been talking to Alexander since about 5 a.m. Eastern. This Polls.tv live stream is seen every weekday at 9 a.m. So around 7 this morning, I see this. Mr. Wick, what's going on? Alexander Grushansky, our brother Karamazov, Twitter, causing trouble. So we've been going back with Alexander. I said, hey, Alexander, I see you try to post something on the server, and it didn't go, so I've whitelisted you. I've given you all the roles, permissions. Try to do it again if you can. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. So then I looked at it with a little more attention and kept reading. I said, wait a minute. If this, then that has been timed out for 2 minutes. What? Reason? Excessive use of potty mouth. Blacklisted words. The channel is Bowls Books. Now, I have a Ukraine channel, so I thought, well, Alexander wouldn't be posting in Bowls Books. He'd be posting in the Ukraine channel. And then I thought, what? So then you click on this because they hide the message in case you're sensitive. I know this is for a while, but I see it more and more. Some of you just make buying threads only for farming engagement when you know exactly what you're going to buy. So much bull, BS, I effing hate to see. I thought, I know what that was. That was something that I liked this morning from an NFT artist on the Twitter saying, and I see this a lot. You see people saying, I have 2 ETH to spend. Send me your NFTs. I'll make a decision and I'll buy 3. And of course, every NFT desperate artist from all over the world sees that, replies, and says, please buy mine, please buy mine. And it's just a farming technique to get people to follow them. And it's really nasty and tacky, and it happens a lot. And this person said, I'm not doing it, and using all these curse words. So when you get the BS word and the F word, Mr. Wick goes crazy. And purges, which is exactly what happened. So all the messages that we had posted were purged. So and for some reason, Alexander's involved in this, and I can't figure out why. But he said, I've never posted anything on your server, so it must be something that I have liked of Alexander's, because everything he posts, I put a like on it to get him some heat, good kind of heat, not Wick, Mr. Wick heat. But because of that trigger against if this then that for the potty mouthing, Mr. Wick went back in time and purged all of these messages that I had liked from Liz Cheney, from NASA. Everything in that channel that IFTT had posted is now gone. Now I could go in there and change it and say, don't purge, just time out. But the whole idea of a purge is when you get a nasty actor going in there and they're cursing and they're spamming you, you really do want them purged. So it's just something I have to be really careful about and watch for any kind of bad language, because Mr. Wick is not going to stand for it. So it's Moobot and Wick versus me, and if this, then that. And Mr. Wick won. Hey, Gordon says, yesterday I got a comment on something I commented on Facebook. And it said, I would love to be friends with you on Facebook, but it's not letting me friend request you. Would you please friend request me? I looked at their profile. It was obviously a fake profile. I reported it. Facebook decided I was wrong. No, they were wrong, alas, robots. Yeah, that is a prelude to a scam. And this happens on LinkedIn too. And when you get that kind of request, you just ignore them. Because what they've done is you can make a certain amount of friend requests or likes or whatever in a day. And if you're doing too many, then you get cut off by the system because you are not acting like a normal person. So they get around that by contacting people and say, hey, I can't like you, but can you like me back? Because they're desperate to get these likes and these follows. So you just ignore them because it doesn't make any sense. And there was someone complaining about Instagram that they had a new account and they had been cut off because they had liked 75 accounts. And so isn't that what you're supposed to do, is go on and find new accounts to like? They suggest these accounts I should follow. I follow them. And people said in the group, that's too many. They don't want you liking 75 accounts in a day. They will cut you off and time you out because they think you're a bot. Machines can do the work. So it's concerning. When you get these accounts trying to get follows, trying to get likes, they hope that people follow back and like back. And when that doesn't happen and they get cut off, the only thing they can do is beg for you to follow them and to help them. But it's very suspicious when you get those messages. Oh yeah, I'm not able to like you or join your network. So can you join mine? No, I won't. So now we turn to our good friend Alexander Grushansky, our beloved Brother Karamazov. And he sent us some video. Now, Alexander is not a video professional. Alexander is a regular person. I enjoy his videos. And we have 3 of them, and they're all very short. Like, they're all under a minute. This one I'm going to show you first is 25 seconds. And I call these mise en scène. If this is just the world that our friend Alexander is experiencing now. He is not home. He's been away from his family for about a week. He is on post duty, and he's been up on post duty for 24 hours. He just finished, and he sent me these videos. And he's very tired and very worn out, missing his family. And he said, I'm a bad father because I'm not with my children. And I try to say, look, your children understand. You are worried about their safety. You're doing the right thing. What has to be done? You're fighting the good fight. I know they know that you are doing things for their benefit. I don't think I convinced them. Now, Andy Warhol made a movie, an 8-hour movie of a person sleeping in the 1960s. Genius, absolute genius. I find it ridiculous. I had a friend back in Nebraska who was a very good filmmaker who said, well, if the character is bored in a classroom, the audience should be bored as well. So therefore, he had a person sitting in a classroom for 10 minutes looking up and down at a clock for 10 minutes. I thought that was insane as well. I said, why bore an audience? Your character can just say, I'm bored, behave bored. We know the character's bored. You don't have to board us as well for 10 minutes. But this documentary stuff from Alexander is very different. And this first video, 25 seconds, no speaking. It's Alexander. You have to put yourself where this is coming from. At his post, holding a gun, and shooting in landscape with his phone. Not an easy thing to do. So here's this lovely, fascinating video. You see some of the ground, and you see the gun, and he's getting ready to show us the compound as much as he can because a lot of this information is protected. But you can see what his life is like. It's this desolate area, sort of a parking lot looking place, where he is defending his homeland for 24 hours. Here is another fascinating video of his life. Just, I don't want to call this the break room, but this is like a little changing area where you can go and sit, maybe get out of the sun, get out of the wind, get out of the heat. Homemade, put together. Try to protect yourself. Try to stay safe. This is real world stuff. The dog is fine, by the way. Doesn't look fine, but the dog is fine. And it's sort of a camouflaged hideout, and in some ways it's right there out in the open. And there's his gun. Now this next one has no sound at all. It's the most curious of all the videos. And as I told him, it's like trench warfare, World War I. But it's a hiding place. And you look at this video and you say, man, this is not someone on post duty. This is someone who has access to a hiding place. And you're going down. This is the trench. Worry about flooding. Then you go into this hole. It's where you sleep, so you're protected. You don't get killed. You don't get bombed by the Russians. Playing this one again, I just love it. It's so interesting. And the fact that there's no sound is just... And how many of us would be brave enough to leave our families, go, stand on post for 24 hours with a gun, and then you need a break, you need to change your clothes, you want to get a little warm? Winter is coming. So you go into this place. You can maybe get a little bit of a nap, a little bit of a break from the war. And I love it. I want videos from Alexander every day for the rest of his life about whatever he's doing. These are not well produced. These are not slick. These are not camera ready. This is a regular guy who has been called up to defend his country, to do his share, to play his part, to perform a role. And he's doing it. man who was a jeweler a year ago is now living in a home. And now it's time for a blood pressure break. Returning in a moment. And we are back on Bowls TV. BOLES.TV. BOLES.television. Coming to you live and in person, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Well, hey, we're talking about our friend Alexander, and I thought he was going to be here with us today, but I may have scared him off with our potty-mouthing Mr. Wick false accusation made against him on our Discord server. And then I just checked on our Discord server. That is not the right one. What has happened? Instapaper. Oh, no, that is the right one. We just can't see it. Oh, here, we can't see it. But our delightful friend, you'll see it in a minute, our delightful friend, Alexander Brother Karamazov, has posted in our new Ukraine area. I'll give him a football. It's getting closer, and I will reply to him. So he says, good day to all. He has the cute flower thing. I'm new here, say hi. I love that. So we have to welcome him. Hello, dear friend. We are so delighted to have you here with us. Post your photos as you wish. We are in this together. We are always with you. Boom. Yeah. So there you go. So Kosmich is our friend Alexander, our brother Karamazov. And we can't see this. We can't see his profile because it's cut off. So that is fabulous. He made it. He wasn't sure he was going to be able to find, so if you have any trouble on the Discord server, let us know. We have all new sections. We have a news section. We have a Ukraine section, a vegan section, a cats section, a health section, a flowers section, a Huskers section, and a tech section where machines can do the work. Yay. He's in. And Igba's been there before, so we have the right people now with the proper access, not cut off, right? Not timed out. I don't know where this is coming from, but I love it. I've seen this. I like it. I'm new here. Say hi. I thought that was a Carl bot thing. Carl bot is the one with the turtle. And when I was trying to figure out, do I want to go with Me 6 or Carl bot, I went with Me 6 because you could buy premium lifetime, and now I wish I had gone with Carl bot. But now that I have Mr. Wick, we don't need either one. So I don't know if this I'm new here is say hi is coming from Moobot? I don't think so. Is it coming from Mr. Wick? I don't think so. Is it coming from Discord itself? Bum bum. Probably. But I love it. I'm like that identifier. And I'm not giving it. Someone else is giving it. Beautiful. Oh, so happy. So happy. Now, we changed just a little bit as I tried to figure out how to address this next topic, which really, 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 really bothers me. But what doesn't bother me? Hey, that's why you do a show, right? Because you're not bothered enough. Notorious RBG, right? Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ooh, tough lady. A lot of respect for her. I think she's terrific. I am massively, and I will say viciously, disappointed in her and how she chose to live the end of her life on the Supreme Court. She had been sick with cancer for many, many years, had recovered from many different kinds of cancers, and yet she still refused to leave her seat on the Supreme Court. Dangerous, dumb, selfish, ruined her legacy. And there are still people who call up the ghost of Ruth Bader Ginsburg as this great jurist. And I say, well, before she died, okay. But she stayed too long. And the problems we're having in America right now, you can directly say are because of her selfishness. President Obama had a lunch with her. And the topic of that lunch, we know through leaks and other suspicions, is that he wanted her out. You are very sick. The Supreme Court is very important about all kinds of rights, not just women's rights. Maybe you've had enough. Maybe you want to retire. And Barack Obama, can pick the next justice, because right now, early in my term, I have the Democrats to do it. And she said no. A deadly, damning no. So now we have all this soreness, all this heartache and wrenching, and Roe has been disassembled, and what do we do? And I find this thread on Twitter that I'm going to show you from Mother Jones. And Mother Jones is a wonderful, not-for-profit online newspaper, and I guess a regular magazine as well, that has some great writing. And they're substantially liberal. And a couple of days ago, they posted this, what I'm calling infamous, clip from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Today in 1993, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was officially confirmed to the Supreme Court. During her confirmation hearings, she issued a now iconic speech on abortion rights. Now, 28 years and aught later, her words carry even greater urgency in the aftermath of the overturn of Roe v. Wade. I'm going to play this with a little bit of audio, and if it gets cut out, it gets cut out. Now, to do this properly, I have to pause my music. Very complicated. I have to turn up the sound so you can hear her. And then I'm going to put on my awful headphones, and we're going to watch this together.
You asked me about my thinking about equal protection versus individual autonomy, and my answer to you is it's both. This is something central to a woman's life, to her dignity. It's a decision that she must make for herself. And when government controls that decision for her, she is being treated as less than a fully adult human responsible for her own choices. You asked me about my thinking about...
Okay, we'll play this one more time. But the thing that's most interesting about this is everything that she's saying. absolutely true. And it doesn't sync with her behavior later when Obama asked her to get out and preserve her legacy.
You asked me about my thinking about equal protection versus individual autonomy, and my answer to you is it's both. This is something central to a woman's life, to her dignity. It's a decision that she must make for herself. And when government controls that decision for her, she is being treated as less than a fully adult human responsible for her own choices. You asked me about...
Okay, so that's very clear. We understand exactly how she feels. And her legacy is now Amy Coney Barrett. "39 days after Ruth Bader Ginsburg, notorious RBG, died, her seat was taken by what I believe is a Christo-fascist Amy Coney Barrett. Coney Barrett. That's her legacy. That's the legacy of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That's how we will be remembering her from now until forever. Nothing she did before that matters. What only matters is the mistake she made in thinking that she could live forever without trying to continue the important work that she did and leaving it to chance, leaving it to someone like Donald Trump to replace her and to take her seat. And Coney Barrett, 13 days before the election? Ruth Bader Ginsburg is not a stupid woman. She's very smart. And she knows that justice and the Supreme Court are political bodies. You are politically appointed. And I don't believe that she didn't know that something this awful could happen. And if she knew, it doesn't appear that she cared very much about what that meant to women who would come after her. And then I read this yesterday, which I find really interesting, as well as confounding. How Ruth Bader Ginsburg will have the last laugh on Big Sam Alito. What? Now, just the fact that this is the title, that she has the last laugh on Sam Alito, tells you that this was not well planned by Ruth Bader Ginsburg and her supporters. We shouldn't have to worry about revenge, laughing. We should have only been concerned with continuity of thought and purpose. The Dobbs decision is clearing the political ground for a resolution in favor of abortion rights. In overturning Roe, a decision Sam Alito said, was egregiously wrong, Alito asserted that the place to decide the morality and legality of abortion is not the Supreme Court, but the political process in 50 states. As if that was Ruth Bader Ginsburg's plan all along, was to not have stare decisis respected and to have the states decide about abortion. That was her overall plan in staying on the court, to be replaced by Barrett. So what does Alito think now, in the wake of Kansas voters resoundingly rejecting a proposal to remove protections for abortion rights from their state constitution? These are not gotcha questions. They are questions, however, that highlight how life is full of surprise and paradox, even for a Supreme Court justice who specializes in self-blustery assurances. Quite unintentionally, today's hero of the pro-life movement could end up being a giant of the pro-choice movement. Maybe risky. Long-term under current trends, it is easy to envisage a decisive shift that would leave a national resolution of the issue in favor of abortion rights. Even in states that do not currently support that, it is hard to envisage the opposite result. Values take on meaning not in the abstract, but in the particular. What do you really believe when it is your adolescent child who is pregnant or who has impregnated someone, or your extramarital affair that results in a pregnancy, or your obstetrician who calls to say she has unwelcome news from the results of a genetic test? Guttmacher Institute, which conducts research on abortion policy, found that 1 in 5 pregnancies in 2020 ended in abortion. In an earlier study from 2017, it found that about 1 in 4 women will have an abortion by the age of 45. And abortion is not something political. Abortion is something that is medical. Somewhat tauntingly, the Dom's opinion is cited in a 1992 speech from one of the most prominent abortion rights supporters of all, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, notorious RBG, that Roe, quote, halted a political process that was moving in a reform direction, and thereby, I believed, prolonged divisiveness and deferred stable settlement of the issue. It was as if Alito was playing a joke on Ginsburg's memory by quoting her in his Demise of Stare Decisis. It seems entirely likely that she, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, will end up having the last laugh from the grave. Interesting take. I find it slightly ridiculous because here's the problem. Okay? Let's say you have some blue states who amend their constitution to say, hey, abortion is a legal, protected right in our state. Okay. And then, as always happens, eventually, if not sooner than later, you are going to have a Republican president with a Republican majority in the House and a Republican majority in the Senate. And they are all going to get together and pass a new amendment to the Constitution. Some law, some something, some ridiculousness that says the opposite of what Roe said. They are going to say, no abortion, ever, never, part of the Constitution. It is the law of the land. It has been decided. We now federally, just like Roe did, we now federally overrule the states. Boom. If you don't like it, go talk to Amy Coney Barrett. And Brett Kavanaugh. And Gorsuch. And Alito. And Roberts. And see what happens. We'll see if they uphold our legal protection against any form of abortion or birth control. That's the next thing. It's already in the news. And all of a sudden, all these state constitutions, all these state laws, oh, we protected. Oh, look what Kansas did. Will mean absolutely nothing. And again, I turn around. And I point my finger rudely in the face of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and say, this is your doing. If not for you, but. And there's no way to really get around the selfishness of the situation. And I knew it. Obama knew it. Every Democrat knew it. Every woman in their heart knew it. Ruth, get out. Trump is coming. Get out. We need to replace you. This is not about you anymore. This is about the larger picture. Because there's a storm coming. And winter is already here. Now we take our final blood pressure break of the day, returning in a moment. And we are back from break. You're on Bowles TV, BOLES.tele, BOLES dot a T, followed by a V, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And Jana Marie is here tomorrow, Saturday at 11 a.m., and Sunday, 11 a.m. as well. Bringing safety and understanding to the disabled, talking about life as a vocational rehabilitation counselor for the state of New York, and lots of other fun things. Now, what's interesting in this life that we try to lead together and separately and apart is the idea of friendship. And there are all kinds of different levels of friendship. As I've said many times here, my philosophy is that if I know you, then you're my friend. And there are some people who are very insulted by that. Just like someone told me one time that they were talking about religion and God and looking over you, and I said to my beautiful wife, "Oh, that's so nice that, I'm interpreting that, meaning that the energy of the universe is on my side." And she said, No, that's not what they mean. I said, well, I know they said, the God thing, and no. They mean that. Well, energy, good feel. No, not energy, not good feelings. No. They mean God, the Godhead, the God up in the heavens with the stars and the universe and St. Peter and the Christ child, the blood of Jesus. That is what they're talking about. Huh? What? So that was interesting. That not just me, I'm not allowed to interpret what other people say to me to fit my view of the world. I need to just accept what they are saying in their context, in their terms, and maybe quietly apply it to myself. But knowing that when people are wishing you things, that maybe they're wishing them under very specific circumstances that you just can't extrapolate into something greater and bigger. So when people say, "Oh, you're not my friend," I said, well, we know each other. We're friends. We talk. "Oh, not a friend." That's not what friends do. And then, you get under their definition of friends, loaning money or staying with each other, or the person I can call at 3 a.m. to bail me out of jail. All these requirements that they have for being a friend. And sometimes people change, and sometimes you grow up with people, and then people leave, usually for school or a job opportunity, and the friendships get stretched and changed a little bit. And people get left behind, and there are new friendships that are created. A month or 6 weeks ago, I shared a story that I learned from Dean on Twitch about how to make friends. You find someone who has your interests at work, let's say, school. You invite them to go do something, and you tell them, hey, bring a few friends. And if they don't bring any friends, it's just you and that person, you scratch them off your list as a friend. They're not a friend. They didn't bring anybody. Because you're new to town and you're trying to meet people. How you make a friend? So he said, then you go back and you find people who play the same games, you have the same sport interest, and you do it again. You invite them out. Hey, could you bring a few friends with you so I can meet them because I'm new to town? And they do. And you go out and you meet, and the friends of that person you asked out, friends, male, female, whatever, you have a conversation, talk to them, find out if you have shared interest. And then eventually the friends that you make in that new town are not the people you know that you ask to go out with you, but they are the friends of the friends. Those are the people who become your circle, and then their friends become your friends, and you are welcomed, and you have moved on successfully to a new town, a new city, a new school, and you have a whole new set of friends. And it can take a while because you're going through this process of finding out what level of friendship you're on. So when I found this very interesting article from the New York Times, the Los Angeles Times, I apologize, that's a big mistake. The LA Times, for a newspaper that's in big trouble, they really do some fantastic writing. So this is an article, that was written a couple of days ago about friendships and boundaries. Now, you wouldn't think you'd really have to set up a boundary with a friend, but maybe that's just me. And they start with Seinfeld, which is, come on now. Bright line no-fly zones are harder to set and maintain when expectations and boundaries vary wildly from friendship to friendship. Now that's interesting. Not all friends are the same. It's a lesson many of us learned through the last 2 years of the polarizing politics and COVID-19. And that's true. I read people talking about, look, you're my friend, you're my family, but if you're going to be all in for Trump, I'm all out. I don't want to have anything to do with you. And they would cut them off. They said it's the only way to survive in this world is to cut them off. Everyone thinks a boundary means setting limits, creating distance. Actually, boundaries are the best way to create closeness and connection. When you communicate clearly and directly with friends about what's okay and what is not okay, you lay the land with them so they can behave in a way that creates trust and friendship. Both of you behave in the right way. So you can feel trusting of them in a relationship. And friendship in LA is difficult because you're always in cars, you're not necessarily always together, and it can be a problem. Friendships are sometimes the, most important and consistent relationship of our lives, and they are fertile grounds for learning how to be in more sexual romantic relationships. Friendships are a good place to practice how you would treat your partner, wife, husband, lover. Communication is number one. You mentioned to your friend you're having some friends and family over for dinner. And the friend says, oh, I'd love to come. What time? You can say, hey, for this gathering, I've already decided on the mix of people that are going to be here, and you're not it. Oh, wait, I care about you as a friend, but this is not an event that you are invited to. Be clear and direct about what you need. You are not responsible for how they feel and how they respond. Speaking of friends, Jana has welcomed Alexander Karamazov. Nice to meet you. I enjoy having you on David's show and your videos. Have a good day. And our friend has just replied. So we're going to reply because that's what we do. We are happy and friendly with each other. Reply. You are a delight and an important voice. We are honored to have you here with us. And Cosbush said, hello, I am also very pleased to meet you. Glad to join your company. And I say, hey, you're a delight, an important voice. We are honored to have you here with us. Thank you. Speaking of friendships, and now back to our regular programming. So I like that communication. Hey, I'm coming over. Well, not really. We get to ask for what we need, not make demands. It's based on the concept of nonviolent communication. Don't go into a Reddit group. It's all about stating the facts and not the interpretation of the facts. It's not a font, you fool! Instead of labeling someone else's behavior by saying, you're too needy, you're too distant, you state facts and feelings and what those facts evoke in you. Feelings? No. You're taking personal responsibility for your reaction. Compromise, sometimes. A lot of times it's about naming the need. With one person saying, hey, this is what I'd like, and the other person saying, hey, this is what I like, then it's, how do we bridge the gap? Is that possible? That's contract law for you right there. Friendship, contract law. If both sides are unhappy, it's a good contract. If one side is thrilled and the other side is miserable, that's a bad contract. Hey, I'm not making this one up. Hey, there's actually a hey in here. Can you believe that? Start the conversation with something like, hey, I noticed that you reach out to me 3 times a day. It may seem relatively insignificant for you because it's just a text, but I'm noticing that for me, what's going to work better is having more quality interaction once a week instead. Then you're not labeling the behavior. You're just, hey, noting that what each of you want just isn't lining up. And you can negotiate from there. Yeah, good luck negotiating with a needy, clingy person. Reevaluate, always. There are different levels of friendship. There's opportunity for promotion or demotion between those levels. For example, there's the friend you can depend on to take you to the airport, get you out of jail. The go out and grab drinks friends. There will be times when the airport friend gets demoted to the drinks friend level. That's not necessarily a negative thing, it's just that things don't align anymore. Hey, people change. I think you kind of have to be open to letting go of the expectations you once had. People are moving in different ways than they were before the pandemic. Monkeypox is on the horizon. You can't hold on too tightly to the way things were before because we're forever evolving. I don't believe in evolution. Then you're not my friend. If you genuinely want to keep the friendship, but not the newfound political divisiveness, you can say something like, hey, we have to agree to disagree because we go around in circles when we talk about politics. Can we just hang out and not discuss politics since it doesn't serve us? Not going to happen, especially with Trump people. That's all they talk about. Because otherwise, I think we have a great time with each other. Have you heard about Ruth Bader Ginsburg? If they say, no, in order for me to be your friend, I have to be able to talk about politics with you, then you have a choice to make. Is this someone that you want to spend time with or do you not? The choice is always yours. So there's some good practical advice that I absolutely completely support. I think it's a good idea to always reevaluate, always keep checking. And speaking of friendships, hey! Our brother Karamazov just replied to us. We can't see the whole thing because we can't see the whole thing. There are many of us, and everyone who stayed in Ukraine is trying to do everything to win, but thanks to you, more people can hear us. Our whole team is grateful to you, not only me, but to the guys with me watch your broadcast. Wow, I love that. So, hey. Now we reply with 100%. Previously, we were probably with a football. Well, I had a football too, because that's very American and it's also what we're doing here. So now I reply again because I have to. We are honored to help. Keep the good fight. We all. We appreciate your friendship, yes, and viewership. We need you to win back the moral center of the world. Doing it. Exclamation point, meow meow. So there you go. If you have a moment and you are a moral, kind human being, go into our Discord server. Send a little hello to Brother Karamazov. Let him know you're there, you support him. I'm hoping he's going to upload photos. Videos don't seem to take very well to Discord, but we have videos covered on our Vimeo account, so if he just liked me. So if you have photos, this is where I want him to post them. I'm hoping, because I've been posting them for him, but I feel they should come from him. He says, Brother Karamazov, Alexander, it is important that our country is supported. I liked one soldier's phrase. He said that it is important for a man to do what he does best. There are those who hold a gun in their hands, others who look for things and deliver food to the guys, and there are those who can talk about it. And then there are more of us, and we are strong because we have the truth behind us. Wow. Just freaking incredible stuff. I wish I had a serious emoticon to use, but I kind of don't have any. I could send a rocket ship. I'll send a rocket ship and a star. I like the star. Beautifully said. Wow, that's beautiful. And he just posted a picture, which I've been asking him to do. So here we go. So here's the picture. Ah, I love those. Beautiful. And so I said, wow, that's beautiful. And we're having this conversation live during the Bulls TV live stream. We're ending it now. What a great honor it was to have your videos with us and now your textual mind. Thank you. Fabulous. Oh, it's so much fun. And we'll just leave this up in case something pops up while we're sitting here on the air. Because these things from Alexander tend to come in batches because it's like he's online. He has signal and he puts everything up. And then I don't hear from him for 2 days. So that's why when he's here and he's active, and maybe it's easier for him to be here than in our Twitch chat. I don't know, because he's very worried about his English. But he's been with us before on our Twitch chat and it's been fine. Uh-oh, Gordon says, we'll do my best. Well, Gordon, here we go. Now, I've quoted this to the monster in the other room many times. There is no best, there is no try. There is only do or not do. Master Yoda. Make it so. Yeah, Mr. Gordon says. Yeah. Oh, got another one. Thank you and everyone who understands that war is terrible and evil must be stopped. Ah. That's fire. Yes. And I say, yes. That is precisely the right idea and tone. Evil cannot exist without a vacuum of support and disinformation. We will set the truth together. So, hey, it's been a wonderful week. What a wild show. Starting off with Mr. Gordon and his font and shaving cream. Not farts, font and shaving cream. And his beautiful new NFT art celebrating the life of Ariana Grande using a U-Haul box. We showed great videos from Ukraine from the front. We had a live conversation. This is a live conversation with Alexander right here in our Discord server. Totally, completely fab. Oh, thank you all very much. He just replied. I had the feeling he was going to say something. I have to give him an emoticon. This time I give him a cat. He loves cats, by the way. We've seen his cat. I shared his cat in a Ukraine bag here before. Yes, together, we all win. So, hey, if you want to send me an email, david@bowls.tv. Ideas, criticisms, thoughts, photographs, videos. If you would like to send Jana Marie an email, she's available at jana@bowls.tv. On Facebook, we are BOLES. On Twitter, we are David Bowles. Super follow us to follow. On Instagram, Bowles Books. TikTok, Bowles TV. Commissioner Gordon says, signing off from Winter Garden, Florida. Thanks for having us. And we reply in kind. We'll see you in a day or two. And I'll have more ideas for you. And Alexander has now given us a heart on our reply, which usually means he's done talking to me, which is fabulously fine. But I will continue this conversation with him if he wants to keep going, off stream, and forever. Because as long as he's typing to me, I know he's alive. And if you want to join us on Discord, hey, Discord, yeah. It's fun. It's enlightening. It's discord.gg/BOLES. Join us anytime. I promise Mr. Wick will be kind. So I hope you have a wonderful sleep, a great nap. And when ye shall awaken, may your days be filled with joy and the light of the sun. I'll see you on Monday.